and welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Ridey, alongside my good friend and co-host, Prabby.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Fine, my friend. How about yourself? It's late.
Oh,
It's late. I wish I was sleeping, but I'm good.
yeah,
I'm good.
it's late. Couple of technical difficulties yesterday, so we're doing the pod
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good after that Canucks game against the Vegas Golden Knights. Can't complain.
I mean, might as well tell the people that you just watched the game today.
Yeah, I'm a casual apparently. No,
A
I,
what was that? A full 24 hours later? That's
hey man,
crazy. That's criminal.
yeah,
That's
it
criminal.
is pretty criminal. But hey, I watched it, got to see it in full. I was very pleased with how the boys battled back, and we're gonna talk about that one towards the end of this podcast, a little bit further down the road here. We're gonna start with the week that was last week, and we're gonna start with the Coyotes game before looping in the Kings and the Knights game on the road last week. So, yeah, Prabby, I don't know if you got to see this Coyotes win. Absolute barn burner of a game, 2-1 win.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Also, okay, before we get into the actual game, the camera from Mullet Arena, dude, the absolute worst.
It's that that's such a joke. It's such a joke. I honestly half the time I couldn't even see which player had the puck. And I want you to know, I watch hockey on a like 70 plus inch TV, right?
Humble brag.
If I humble brag, right? But if I'm having a hard time seeing which player has the freaking puck, obviously there's something wrong with your camera.
Yeah, 100%. And the part of the problem too is just like I don't know. Again, I would love. This is where I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I would love to go catch a game in the Mullet Arena. I think it's great. I
Yeah,
actually had
of
one of my
course.
friends. They were just down there, said it was an amazing experience. But dude, it's just so embarrassing. Like UBC Thunderbird Arena holds 400 plus more people, and I
Yeah.
believe, like we were talking about the other day, Prospera Place holds more than Mullet Arena does.
Yeah. It's embarrassing for the league, and it doesn't even seem like Arizona's arena situation is going to be figured out anytime soon. They came out and said they wanted to make a bid on some land, but the Scottsdale mayor came out and said they don't want anything to do with that, which doesn't even make any sense because they don't even want to build it in Scottsdale.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that whole franchise is a mess.
It truly is. Like they, I don't know. I really think it can work. I know they have like passionate fans down in Arizona, all three of them, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're getting close to thinking about actually relocating and not Atlanta. Don't do Atlanta, Gary Bettman. If that's what you're thinking, don't do it.
It's gonna
Um,
be Atlanta.
yeah.
It's
But
gonna.
yeah, quickly with this game here, Sea Loves gets his second start of the year. He played against Anaheim earlier,
Yeah,
and yeah, he
I was
comes
at
away
that
with it.
game. I
You
just
rather?
want
Hey, tell
on
me about
record.
the experience.
I was at that game. I got to watch Dakota Joshua score a through the legs goal. That was pretty electric. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's so nasty, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me, like, how is like the crowd? How is like the experience of like going in the arena? Like, I feel like because I went to the game versus Winnipeg when Demko got hurt, basically cursed the
Mhm.
team.
yeah.
But just the on ice presentation is so much better than like 2 years ago when I went. Like, it's leveled up in an insane amount.
Yeah. The atmosphere there was off the charts. It was my girl's like first ever like NHL game,
Hmm.
and she was having a vibe and she was having so much fun, and just the whole building, like even though it was the Ducks, the building was just going crazy. And I remember there was one play where I think the Canucks got called for a penalty and the boo birds were just flying. I don't know if you could hear it
Yeah.
through the TV, but
Oh, you could.
um yeah, there was so as soon as the game started, a crazy P.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
our boy.
So yeah, our boy, like Crazy Pete, he was yeah, I was row 8 from the ice. So
Yep.
like he started his whole shindig like right in our like section,
Yeah,
right? So I got
yeah,
to
yeah.
really really settle in nicely. Besides that, yeah, the game was great. It was nice and close for some physicality, and I'd say the biggest downer for that game was I spent $40 on 2 beers. So
That's insane. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
it
that
was pretty. I'm gonna give Francesco the benefit of the doubt, the fact that there were 20 ounces. All right, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah.
that's still absurd. $20 for 2 beers.
Oh, hopefully he didn't order any fries. I don't know if you saw that picture on Twitter, but
I I,
someone only got like 7 fries.
I did, yeah.
Pretty
The
much a
fry
dollar
gate.
a fry. Frygate, yeah. But no, I 100% agree. Like, if you're a Canuck fan or you haven't seen a hockey game, I 100%. I urge you to go see a Canucks game. Obviously, they're
Yeah,
getting close to playoffs here with only a few games remaining, so the ticket's going to be way more pricey. But next year, if you're able to go see a game, go see one. They're so awesome to go to.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so with this game, Seelovs gets that second start. He got the win with you, and he gets the win here in Arizona. Um, he looked pretty solid. The one thing we got in a bit of an argument with this before with the Smith and Seelovs, and who do you go with down the stretch here because the
mhm,
Smith has struggled a little bit as of late, right? Seelovs is a little bit taller and he swallows the puck. Like there's not a lot of rebounds. There still is some here and there. He's a rookie. Mistakes are bound to happen. DeSmith only being 6 feet tall, he plays a super aggressive style of goalie, similar to like Tim Thomas. Maybe not that aggressive, but to that
yeah,
goaltending. And he lets out a lot of rebounds at times.
yeah. Do you remember when Demmer first came in the league? He was spitting rebounds out everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Just every chance he had, he was just spitting rebounds out. I know I was talking about, well, I'll say my DeSmith piece later, but yeah, no, I think for Steelovs coming in, he gets the win against the Ducks, gets a win against the Yotes. Like that's some solid like stuff to build on.
Mm-hmm.
I think he at the time after the Yotes win was 2-0 for the
Yep.
season, and I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about, yeah, Steelovs had a great game besides getting scored on by Dylan Gunther, which obviously that one's gonna hurt. But
Classic Canuck thing to happen, man.
yeah, the biggest X factor is Quinn Hughes in that game. Quinn Hughes is crazy in that game.
Absolute engine. He was skating laps around that rink, man. It was wild. So
Yeah.
fun to watch. Like, I thought like midway through the season, you could definitely make an argument to saying that Demko and Miller were the team's MVP. Last week, even though the Canucks lost in LA, this game for sure, or sorry, this game, the Vegas game, the whole week, the
Mhm.
whole week and the Kings game. He was just lights out. Like you just see this team rides and dies on Hughes' stick. When he is going, he is such a treat to watch and he makes things happen. Like this game was tied up with like just under 2 minutes to go and he just skates circles in the offensive zone. Roenick
Yeah.
gets it back to him on the left wall. He shoots a shot. It goes off the boards. And also, like, you got to give credit where credit's due here. Garland being able to hit that like one timer snapshot, top like top cheddar in the back of the net, Canucks
Yeah.
win. That's a really hard shot to make, and he got all of it. Ingram was coming across the way trying to save it. Like that was a really impressive shot, I thought, by Garland. But what a dominant performance by Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. The game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Ingram had a great game. Oh,
He did.
Ingram had a great game for the Yotes, but yeah, the
Glitch in the
Canucks got
matrix there.
yeah, the Canucks got the dub. That's what matters. They've been really letting points slip away lately, and like it was nice that it was against the Yotes. You expect them to win, and they did it. Obviously, not by the fashion that you probably expect them, but they
Yep.
did end up keeping the Yotes to only one goal after Arizona's just been on an absolute tear on the offensive side of things. So you
Yeah,
know,
they're playing loose. They're not in a playoff spot. They're
yeah,
eliminated. So they're just getting their
they
points, trying to hit their bonuses.
yeah, another top 12 pick for the team. Like
Yeah.
they're just trying to finish the rest of the regular season out, and you can't blame them. But, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was a lot more entertaining than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be boring, one sided,
Hmm.
but that's Canucks hockey. Play down to your opponent.
Is that the slogan for next year? Play down to your opponent. Oh
Maybe.
man. Yeah, let's jump into these next two games here.
Oh,
It's gonna be tough portion of the podcast here, but we got to get through it. We got to talk about the ups and the downs here. Both games ended in a score of 6-3 losses for Vancouver. We're gonna start with the Golden Knights one here because this one happened first. Right away, Prabby, like what are your thoughts? Like the way the Canucks came into this game, they just look so unprepared, and they take those penalties right off the hop. They're down 2-0. Like, do
Mhm.
you think they can come back at that point? Watching this game,
Not with Casey DeSmith in the net. I'll say that. And it's not even anything against Casey DeSmith, like for bad goals or whatever. He just couldn't make a save when the boys really needed it. You
I'll
know,
agree
like
with you with that.
yeah, obviously like there's this he letting a few stinkers talk, which is completely fair, but team
Some
like if you're down 2-0, like you gotta make that save. Right? It gets into like you gotta make that save territory, and then Canucks make it 2-1. And then all they needed is just one big save, and they weren't getting it.
All right, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
The first goal, 100% on Smith's fault. He tries to cover the puck. He plays it a little bit too far over, and Mantha gets a tap in. That is 100% on him.
Mhm.
Canucks get in some penalty trouble, and Marchessault too. Like the goal he scored, just an absolute snipe. He's a 40 goal scorer. Similar thing happened to in the Kings game where Kempe just sniped one on him. Again, he's a
Mhm.
smaller goalie. He lost his net a bit on the Kempe one, but in this one too, Marchessault just sniped it, and I was like, okay, like yeah, you want to
So
see him have that.
you yeah.
Demko probably has that, but at the same time, I don't know that it's a 40 goal
Demko is
scorer. I'm
taller.
not going to complain.
Yeah.
So that happens. Then Zadorov takes he gets a 5 in a game, which if that's a 5 in a game, I'm fine. Just the refs got to start calling it more consistently because it's getting ridiculous at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't get how this one's a major and a 5 in a game, and the one that Manson did on Miller was just a 2-minute minor for boarding. Like that just makes no sense. If anything,
It
the
was a
one
2-minute
on
minor for a hit to the head. I
for
didn't
a
even
hit
know
to
you
the
could
head.
I didn't even know you could call those 2 minutes.
Yeah, and again, like if you're not gonna call that one like a 5 in a game, you can't call this one that. Like there just needs
Yeah.
to be consistency, and they have to come out and like I don't know, like people are talking about like the refs being able to like have to talk to like media post game. I
Yeah.
honestly think we're getting to that point where it would kind of be nice to get some clarification and get these guys like have these guys grilled a little bit for some of the decisions they make. Like they're costing games to not just our team, obviously. Like we're homers.
Yeah.
I am for sure. You know, like
Yeah, oh,
when I
yeah.
see a call go against
Me
my
too.
team, I get upset. But I know this happens to other teams as well, and it's mind boggling, man. The consistency in this league is just it's at an all time low right now. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that happens, and Vancouver's penalty kill has been in shambles for a while here now. Vegas goes to work. I think they were 2-4 on the night. And like you said, like Vancouver gets that goal, the Höglander goal, which is a great forechecking ship by the Pedersen Besser line. And then
Yeah.
20 seconds later, it's in the back of our net. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
do need to have a save there every now and then. Mind you, that was terrible defense too on that goal to make it
Oh, yeah.
3-1.
100%. But it's you kind of you need that for just to get some confidence back in you. When Vancouver made it okay, well, I guess I'll just quickly mention this note from the like most recent Golden Knights Canucks game. When Vancouver made it 2-2, uh Golden Knights went down on a 2-on-1 and Sealovs made the save. And Shadon Shorthouse is like, "Whoa, like that could be a crucial save. Like we'll see." And
Yeah, that was on
Vancouver,
Hannafin, I believe.
yeah. So it just or it was 3-2 and he made the save or whatever it was, but Sealovs made the save, and like it's once again, it's not anything like I'm not saying DeSmith sucks and or anything like that. It's just you sometimes you need your goalie to make a save that you don't expect him to save.
For sure.
That that just gives the boys confidence. To your point, the Marchessault goal, I understand he's a 40 goal scorer, but once you're already down 1-0, the boys need that save, especially with
For
how
sure they do.
everything's been going recently. So
I
the
just
only yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just don't think you can call like again, this is the same with the Kempe goal and
Mhm.
that goal. I don't know on the Marchessault one if he lost his net or if it was just a pure snipe. The Kempe one, he did lose his net.
Mhm.
Both are on the power play. But man, oh man, like the defense, you're just letting Marchessault and Kempe walk down the line like that and they're able to just fire a shot uncontested. Like you can't have that happen either.
No, I'll agree with that. But I do think we can critique Casey DeSmith
You can. You're allowed
for
to. 100%.
yeah. The Marchessault goal, like, we have different opinions on it. I
Yeah.
still think he should have had it. Understand, no matter how good Marchessault is,
Yeah.
DeSmith, like, the boys need that save. You gotta have it. The first goal, he played it into the crease himself after going for the cover.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, ended up in the back of the net. And then I think it was the William Karlsson goal is another
Hmm.
one he probably should have had because he should have smothered the Petrangelo shot. It was
Yes.
Petrangelo versus him, and it just beat him 5-hole, and Carlson got this little sloppy seconds right behind him. So that's
Yeah.
3 goals that you can make an argument that your goalie's got to have,
Yeah.
right?
No, you definitely can. And again, like, yeah, it's just it's deflating too. I'm not like I think DeSmith has been like fine for the most part down the
Mhm,
stretch here since Demko's been absent. Like they're 5-5-1 without Demko, and they haven't beat a playoff team since the Winnipeg game when Demko was gone, up until
mhm,
obviously last night's Vegas win.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, like it's just he's been fine. He hasn't been spectacular, or great, and he's not supposed to be. He's a backup. He's doing his utmost best to try to do it. That being said, I do agree with you. Love's got handpicked some games with Arizona and the Ducks,
mhm.
but the one we're going to be talking about here pretty soon, full marks on the Vegas one. He did great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, quickly we'll go to the Kings game here. Very similar fashion. Like Vancouver, I don't know what it is because I the
Wait,
Kings.
hold on.
Yeah,
Quick note about the Golden Knights game.
yeah.
Quinn Hughes in that game. Are we gonna? Was that the game he had 2 goals?
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Right?
we gotta finish that off. Yeah, yeah. Quinn
Yeah.
Hughes was an engine again in this game.
He was single-handedly just dragging the team behind him to try
He
to get the
was.
game back even. Like that guy, I remember when they first announced him as captain, and I was more than like okay with it. I actually like the pick, but I personally I was like, man, I would kind of would have picked like Miller.
Oh,
I
100%. I was on that train too.
right? I am so happy. Like, obviously, if Miller got captaincy, I would have been happy with it, and I still think Miller would have done great with it. But man, did they ever make the right call picking Hughes? That guy is just such a different beast, and we're so lucky to have him. And he's most likely going to pass Edler next year and take over franchise lead for points by a defenseman, which is nuts.
He's
He
gonna be
got here,
25 when that happens. That's
yeah.
insane.
And how long did Edler play for us? Like 15 seasons, 14 seasons?
I don't know the exact amount, but a long time, yeah.
I think it was. We'll say. Well, I'm gonna be on the side of caution and say I'll say 13 seasons.
All right.
I think. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. He got the 2 goals in this game, and again, the Canucks just like I believe it was after his goal to make it 5-3. Vegas scored like a minute and 26 seconds after that goal. Like there was just
Yeah.
deflating moments in this game where Vancouver was starting to amount the comeback, and then they just couldn't get it because they would allow a goal, right? So again, yeah, Hughes in this game again. For those that haven't seen the highlights of this one, just watch him. Like he's just so fun to watch right now. He's taking over every game he plays. Um, yeah, quickly. So yeah, this Kings game they play same story. Like they just they're not prepared. They're not ready. They take dumb penalties. This is the game where Dakota Joshua said something to the ref. He got the 10-minute game misconduct. Uh, Kings go on the power play. They get 2 power play goals on this one. The Kempe snipe that I've talked about and the
Mhm.
Doughty goal. Like right away, the Canucks in both of these games just shoot themselves in the foot and they're down 2-0. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't think when you get scored on first, Vancouver leads the league, by the way, in scoring first in the NHL. They've scored first 50 times this year.
Yeah.
As of
That's
late,
absurd.
they haven't been doing that. But if you're going down 1-0 or 2-0, especially if you're a top team, a top contender like the Vancouver Canucks are, you should not be saying or not you shouldn't be packing it in, Like you still have a
Yeah.
shot. 2-0. You're a good hockey club. You've won so many games this year. You're at the top of the Pacific. You have to be able to come back from these games.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh, yeah.
I'm trying to think about that Kings game, and the only thing that's in my head, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about it. I actually don't remember the game too much, but awful, awful game for the boys,
Yeah.
and I really hope we don't play the Kings.
No, it's a genuine concern. I don't think
Yeah,
we want to play the Kings because the Kings, for whatever reason right now, that 1-3-1 has the Canucks figured out. And here's the thing too, in this game, like if you look at again, I don't want to be a moral victory guy. Gunny would be roasting me right now if I brought this stat up, but the deserve to win-o-meter, Vancouver was like 67%
yeah,
deserving to win this game. And when you watch, like, the Kings get these two goals, they play that 1-3-1, Vancouver can attack, 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 attack all game, but the Kings are just going to sit back. And there were a couple of times, I believe it would have been Besser's goal, I believe. Miller took a shot. It was a rebound, and the Canucks scored on it. But
hmm
they broke the 1-3-1 in the middle. I think Quinn Hughes gave a really nice pass to Miller in stride, and it had like the 1-3, like that part of the formation. They were
hmm
behind, and it was a 3-on-2, or sorry, it was a
yeah,
3-on-1 for Vancouver. Like, you can
yeah,
break the 1-3-1, but you have to play fast, and the Canucks just weren't playing fast. They didn't have the legs in this game.
yeah,
The only thing I could say in this game that was kind of cool is Bluger broke his scoreless drought. He gets a shorthanded goal, and
yeah,
Besser was one more goal away from getting to 40. He got his 39th in this game.
yeah. I remember there was one play that that the Canucks were coming down on the Kings. The Kings were just backing up into their own zone, and the puck hadn't even entered the Kings' blue line, and the
Yeah.
Kings had 5 skaters in their own zone. And I was just like, I freeze framed it. I looked at it, and I was like, that's disgusting.
That's just
Like
vile, man.
I don't understand. Kings fans will say like, "Oh yeah, wins are wins." Doughty can say it makes us happy how much people get agitated by it. You're not playing hockey, and like you just need to accept that fact, you know. And I
Well,
stand
like,
by it.
hey,
I stand by it. If we match up with the Kings and they want to play 1-3-1, I would just want the boys to just tee off on dump ins at like Fiala, Kopitar, like Kempe, Doughty. I just tee off. Don't even try to dump it in. Just hit them with the puck so they move out of the way next time.
well, that's what, yeah, not that, but Vancouver just has to, again, like, start playing at, like, when the game starts. When the puck drops, that's when the game's on, not when it's 10 minutes like past, or 10 minutes into the game and you're already down 2-zip. You got to
Yeah.
play right from the get-go. Um
I want to
and
clarify.
again,
I mean, like at their shins. I don't mean at their
I
head.
I know.
Yeah.
You're insane, but you're not that biased, okay?
Well,
But no, I
it's the whole like if you're taking a shot and there's a guy in your lane, shoot it and make sure he's not there next time.
yeah,
What
yeah,
the what
100%.
it's there's nothing different about it, you know? Like
No, but if they're
it,
gonna play 1-3-1, Canucks should be dumping it in and just making sure you finish your hits.
yeah, but I feel like if you hit them a couple times with the puck and then you dump it in the next time, they'll like kind of learn their lesson.
Yeah,
I don't
and,
think
and
they're gonna
Vancouver
stop, but
Vancouver just has to learn, and they gotta adapt. Lately, outside of the penalty kill struggles, that's a genuine concern right now, and we'll talk about that.
mhm.
The power play is heating up. The power play is getting a lot better. Even when they're not scoring, the movement looks good. There's lots of shots. That's looking a lot better. So, the only other thing I have to say about the Kings game, Trevor Moore had a bit of a dirty hit on Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes kind of sidestepped it a bit, but it was on the numbers. Besser and Miller came in to protect their leading defenseman there, which is nice to see. Some people said they wanted to see a little bit more there, but I don't know. Game's over. They're frustrated. Hughes wasn't injured. I didn't think
Yeah.
it was a big issue, but also don't hit our defender.
Do you think you should have got 5? I'm okay with the no suspension. I don't think it was
Mm,
that vicious, but I think 5 I think a 5 should have been on the table for that. I just don't understand why they don't call it a 5 and then review it. It just it doesn't
yeah,
make sense to me. You remember
I
when they called a 5 and then reviewed the penalty and then they gave the penalty to Myers for a 5?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, well, why do we never get a 5-minute review in our favor, you know?
League hates us, bud.
It's
Wake
don't even
up,
get yeah, don't even
wake
get me
up.
started. No.
But
No.
no, yeah, I think it could have deserved a 5 because it's the end of the game, especially too if the refs, like, you know what I mean. It's like close to the game being done. Canucks are frustrated. There's probably going to be some bad blood there. Like, if you were a ref there, why wouldn't you just take Trevor Moore out of the game so it just like solves the issue? You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about scrums anymore. And like, if you do anything, the players are like, okay, if I do something, I'm going to get penalized or kicked out of the game at this point. There's just no
Yeah.
point in doing something outlandish. But that was just a boneheaded hit to do at the end of the game. I
Yeah.
don't think it was like Quinn Hughes sidestepped a good chunk of it, so I'm not as salty as I should be, I think, with this hit. But
Are we thinking about the exact same hit?
yeah, the Trevor Moore hit.
Yeah, I don't think he sidestepped it.
He did no, he just his butt. Maybe it's just the way he landed or something. I don't. He didn't like sidestep it, but like, he still got hit on the numbers. But his head wasn't like his head didn't get crunched on the boards or anything, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but well, you're saying it, it's still a hit on the numbers.
It is no,
That's
it's still a dirty hit. Like I said,
yeah.
it should still get some kind of penalty. It's wild it doesn't, but um,
He did.
let's
He got called. He got called for 2.
yeah, I know, but like that, like we're talking about, like this should be it should be a 5. It's
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well, it's a Canucks player. Have we had a single 5-minute major power play this year?
I don't think so. We've had like 4 or 5 on threes against us out in one game. That's pretty cool. Nice little
I'm
feat.
s
The
yeah,
Minnesota game.
oh, shout
But
out to the Minnesota Wild who officially got eliminated from the playoff contention today. Yeah, great win,
shout
guys.
oh god.
Uh,
Um, let's before we move on to the positive note here, I'm gonna set the scene for this Vegas game, okay? So the penalty kill, like I was saying, has had a bunch of struggles. They're not getting the big save. They just don't have like their formation a lot of the times, or the formation gets broken up from these quick passes that other teams do. Like every other team's power play, it'll be like Kings power play, ranked 27th. That's not the actual rank, but I'm just like saying an example
mhm,
here. And then they pass it around like they're the Harlem Globetrotters because we don't know how to defend it right now. The
yeah,
power play killed 6 of 11 during this road trip,
mhm,
54.5%. That's
yeah,
a garbage penalty kill.
that's not gonna
Um,
cut it.
no, definitely not. They have to fix that before playoffs begin. Um, now, to set the scene, the Canucks are 5-1 without Demko. Like I said, we're ailing. You know, people are mad at DeSmith. Everybody's like, oh, like not sell the team, but you know what I mean? Like people are a little bit angsty, myself included a bit. And then yesterday, you hear the call. Seelovs is getting the net. Prabby's right once again.
Yeah,
Seelovs comes in against the Vegas Golden Knights, which is a huge task compared to Arizona and the Ducks. No disrespect.
yeah,
Um,
a
Vancouver,
lot of disrespect. There's
yeah, a
not even
lot. Don't hold back. Yeah, so
that's
much
a farm
disrespect.
team of an AHL team. That's what the Yotes and Ducks are.
But here's the thing, right? Vancouver starts right where they left off in the previous Vegas Kings game. They go down 2-0. Terrible. Actually, this wasn't even a bad penalty. I don't. Did you see this? Besser's first penalty of the night.
I,
Got two
so
minutes for back checking.
yeah, I turned the game on when right after Eichel scored, and then I just heard John Shorthouse talking about like, well, it was pretty questionable. Docket seems pretty upset with the call against Besser, and then I like once it went to commercial, I think I went back and I watched it, and dude, I couldn't believe what I saw.
Oh my
I don't
god.
understand this league, like, and I don't understand this league at all, man.
No, Besser just lost his edging.
Yeah,
Like there was no hook. There was nothing. Anyways, Vegas goes to work. They cash in. It's 1-0, right? The 2-0 goal.
absolute stinker by
Oh,
Sealos on that
yeah,
one.
yeah. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
goal, he should have had that. Hey, we're talking about making the big save. Make that save.
Yeah, make that save, buddy. Oh
Yeah,
my god. When
that
I
was
uh when I saw the replay of that one, I was like, "Oh, that one hurts." Like, Dridie's gonna kick my ass.
yeah. No, but then the second goal, guy stands absolutely no chance. Myers kind of, you know what? No, Myers isn't at fault on this play. It was more so Susie. Susie went to cover for
Mm,
Myers, and then Eichel. Who? Why are we leaving Eichel wide open for an empty cage?
yeah.
You know. Anyways,
Susie Susie minus like a couple games after he got back, he hasn't been looking that good.
yeah, that's
Wonder if
what.
something's still hurting.
Uh, I don't know about that. You know, maybe some of it is just like kind of getting back into the game again a
Mm,
bit. Like
yeah,
not that he hasn't, you know, he's got some reps in obviously, but
yeah,
I don't know. It could just be, you know, losing his man or trying to compensate for Myers pinching up a little bit more there. Again, it's
yeah.
mainly Susie's fault there, but regardless, Vancouver's down 2-0. Rogers Arena is absolutely silenced. Prabby, what happens next? Give me the lowdown here.
I actually don't remember.
All right.
They
Well, this is
they
why
get
this is
a
why I do the notes.
well, they yeah, Rogers Arena's dead. Dead in the
Yeah,
water. You're
2 goals on
gone.
2 shots.
2 goals, 2 shots. You turn the game off. You're done. You're like, I'm over this." And
See ya.
then that's what the team needed. They needed that spark, you know? And then Carson
Connor.
Soucy, actually, hold on. Carson Soucy lays a beefy hit on Keegan Colasar.
Oh, yeah. That was a
Yeah,
nice hit.
lays a
That was a big boy hit.
beef-tastic hit. And the next thing you know, it seemed like the Canucks got their legs and
Yep.
they started running. They started running, and then they got a power play. And I'm gonna let you take over from here because you watched the game more recently than I did.
Yeah, so Garland draws the power play for Vancouver. I think it was Brett Howden.
Mm,
He cross checks Garland in the back. No call
mhm.
on the first cross check, which again, regardless, 1 or 2 cross checks, that first one should have been called. Second one, he does it closer to Garland's neck, and then the ref was like, "Oh, time for a penalty." Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Canucks go to work. They score on the power play. Garland, I believe it was Garland, gets the opening goal in this game. Right.
Yep. It was Miller to Hughes. Hughes with a clapper.
That's right.
Garland shoots it in to Thompson, who's laying on his behind.
Yeah, Garland gets his 17th of the year, his 100th goal of his career in his 400th game. Which side we'll talk about this a little bit more. Miller made t-shirts for the boys. Garland's 400th game. That's got to be the funniest t-shirt ever. And as soon as those are in the Canuck store, I'm buying one. That is
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Miller made a joke in the post game.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Miller. But Miller made a joke in the post game. He's like, "Man, after tonight, I might have to make Connor Garland's 401st NHL game
Yeah.
t-shirts." I
No,
was
I
like,
saw that. So funny. But no, yeah, the boys, they strike on the power play. Like I said, the power play's been cooking a little bit as of late. They end up getting another power play and great movement on this one. Couple of give and goes. Petey was hitting some shots in this game too, some like one-timer
yeah,
shots, which
yeah,
he's been pretty selective of as of late. So it's nice to see him shooting a little bit more again. But yeah, Quinn Hughes just is on an absolute tear as of late. Gets his 17th of the year as well. Yeah, and the boys tied it up 2-2 going into the second period.
yeah,
And this is exactly what I'm talking about too, probably. Like, it's 2-0 Vegas or 2-0 against any opponent. You're down, right? The game can't be over. You got to be able to push back and like fight that adversity. And
yeah.
Vancouver in this one, like you said, they get that hit from Soucy on Colasar. The fans kind of get back into it a bit. Garland draws a call. I believe Hughes drew that other one. Actually, got high sticked or high elbowed.
He
Um,
got hit to the head.
yeah. And then the boys went to work and they strike on the power play. When you're given these opportunities, you have to capitalize. And props to Vancouver, man. They go into the first intermission 2-2, and
Yeah,
like that's exactly what they needed. They got the home fans on their side, the building's rocking again, set the scene for the second period where Mr. Noah Hannafin gets a nice little power play goal. And actually, what am I saying? Nice. Did you see this goal too?
yeah.
Absolute stinker.
For who?
It,
Sealos?
yeah. I don't
No
even I
way.
he was not screened on this one, dude. This
Power
is a
play. It was a screen on a power play.
Did you see how fast his shot was going? It was absolute floater, dude.
Hey. Let me tell you something. I've seen Demko let some in this year. You remember those two? You remember those two Nylander goals in the game that we went up 3-0? Do you remember that? Floater
Yeah.
from the point. No, I think power plays and point shots. Like he was
Mhm.
screened. There was a couple guys in
He
front of him.
was a
I
little
I,
bit.
I do agree. I'm gonna agree with myself here. You need that save. Hey,
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
care if
go.
you I don't care if you can't see it. Stop
Yeah.
it. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
The
just the way the shot was, like
Yeah.
the trajectory of it, it looked a little weak. Thought he would have probably wanted that one back too. But again, can't be
Also,
taking those kind of penalties.
yeah, that's all Carson Soucy.
Yeah.
Like, what was he thinking? Obviously,
Yeah,
the Golden Knights player fell a little easily. It was Barbashev, I think it was.
Barbashev, yeah.
Yeah, he fell a little easily, but dude, you've had like 2 minutes of sustained pressure in the other team's zone.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, and yeah, again, honestly, both teams' power plays in this game were rocking. So
Mm,
yeah, that was just a tough one to take. Bit of a dagger, But again, Vancouver finds that gear, and the skating on the like, Brock Besser is not the best skater in the National Hockey League, but he's got really good sense of like hockey IQ and like knowing where to go, where to be at all times.
Hmm.
Pedersen gives him a drop pass coming into the zone, and he kind of circles around a little bit, cuts into the middle, puts a little wrister on net, and Brock Besser Pravi is officially not a 30 goal scorer, a 40 goal scorer. He joins
Yeah.
the likes of Daniel and Henrik Sedin, or Daniel and Ryan Kessler
Yeah.
as the last two to get 40 goals. Like, what a story, man. Like this guy went from, like wanting to get traded because like things weren't working out here, and like that's what everybody thought he should do. We should flip
Yeah.
him. Like Besser's not doing good here. Um, all like uh, the tragedies this guy's had to go through with like the
Hmm.
passing of his dad, and like the injuries through his career to come in and get 40, man. This is the best story that the Canucks have going this year. Like it's just such a feel good story. I'm so happy for Brock, man. It's just awesome.
Yeah. Um. Oh shoot! I actually had a train of thought and I just lost it. Uh.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Let me ramble until I find it. Yeah, that was such a sick goal. That was like I know it maybe not be the best thing, but that was vintage Brock Besser.
Hmm.
Though just the way he like turned to actually get some more power on the shot instead of just putting like a little muffin. That was
Yeah,
so nice. And you could tell that the fans, everybody like gave him like a standing O. And it's crazy that if you think about it, I know this has nothing to do with Connor Garland, but what was it like a year ago? At the beginning of the season, the Canucks were offering Besser and Garland for probably like a couple sevens.
for
Like,
pucks, dude. Yeah,
y-
like they had no value.
no, now look at them. Now, like, keeping Connor Garland and Brock Besser might be the best thing this management has done. And choosing JT Miller over Bo Horvat. That might be
Yep.
the best thing this management has done. Like those three together, but that's beyond the that's for like discussion for later on. Like Brock Besser, I don't think anybody's believed in him as much as like you, me, and like a lot of Canucks fans are on Twitter.
Yeah, we
Well,
got to
not
do some back patting here, man. You and
yeah.
me, we were going to bat for our boy Besser
He's
while Gunny was throwing him down.
oh yeah, Gunny was over him. Gunny was ready to just toss him to the curb, and it's
Yeah,
so nice. It's like we knew he could do this until when we saw him in what 2018. We're like, yeah, this guy can score 40. And
yeah,
then it just didn't happen. And each year we're like, this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. And it finally happened. And like honestly, it couldn't have happened to a better player. Like not a
no,
better player, but like a better human being.
yeah,
Like he deserves it so much. So yeah. That boy
no.
Brock
He's
Besser.
attaboy Brock Besser.
Yeah.
Besser. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Besser.
Yeah, great goal to get us back in. It's 3-3. And then, yeah, towards the end of the second there, Dakota
Hold on.
Joshua.
Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
3-3. And then C Loves makes a big save on the 2-on-1. You need that save.
You do
Yeah.
need that save. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Big
you
save
need
by
that
Sea
save.
Loves. And you know what? Well, this quickly with Sea Loves too. Like in this game, he starts out 2 goals on 2 shots. He's probably a little shaky. It's against Vegas. It's a big team. And when
Yeah.
any Canuck fan sees that, myself included, I'm like, I feel bad for this kid. This looks like it's going to get ugly. He battled back hard, man. Like,
Yeah.
even that third goal, I just kind of razzed him on a little bit. Like, he made the saves that needed to happen tonight. The Canucks played really well in front of him outside of the second goal, the Eichel goal
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like, really good defense. Um, yeah, no, he battled back hard, and Vegas is no slouch. 23 shots on net. He made 20 saves. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good to see what you have with the guy or with the kid. So, anyways, yeah, towards the end of the second here, Canucks are in the zone. None other than our boy Connor Garland, too, muscling his way to the net. He finds a loose puck, puts it in, gets his second, and in his 400th game, guy gets his 101st goal. Oh man, the boys are buzzing. Like they fought back hard in this game, just like I was saying with Seelovs. The
Yeah.
third period, absolute clinic too. Like they dominated Vegas in this game.
Yeah. The third period, they outshot Vegas while having the
Yeah,
lead.
yeah.
One thing you skipped over on the Connor Garland goal,
Mm.
that was officially JT Miller's 100th point of the season.
I know it's so
That's
this night was the milestone night, man.
yeah. Yeah. The JT Miller's he just I remember I saw a tweet today that said something about his 99-point season and
Yep,
how like obviously he's gonna put up those insane numbers in a contract year and like everybody's just saying like he's never gonna get that close again. I think he had
yeah,
like 82 points last year.
yep.
And then this year, 35 goals, 65 assists.
Hmm.
Like $8
He's
million
insane.
dollars for $8
Yeah,
million. Hey, I'll
yeah.
take it any day of the week. JT Miller is so sick. Like I can't. I am
You got
gushing
a
over
crush
it.
on him?
Oh, dude, I so dude. Like,
Yeah, me too, man.
is he? There's a poll on Twitter by the I think it's called the Hockey Spotlight, and it was is JT Miller the best power forward in the show this year?
Hmm.
What do you think?
So here's the thing. I don't know the exact stat, but it's like something with like players that have like 30 plus goals, 400 hits, and a bunch of blocks.
Hmm.
JT Miller's at the top of that list.
Yeah,
So by
is that not a power
definition,
forward?
a power no, that's what I'm saying. By definition, that's a power forward in my opinion.
Yeah,
That means he's the best power forward this year. Yeah.
yeah. I you know that hockey philosopher guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he made an argument for Nathan McKinnon, which I see
You
where he's
can.
coming from. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I see where he's coming from, but I think Nathan McKinnon has his own tier of of or like his own class of play. I don't think you can define him with a power forward or a playmaker or a sniper because that guy just does everything and he does it good.
Speaking
Uh,
of, did you see his hat tricks today?
I saw the one goal where he just busted through the defense and said, "Yeah, goodbye."
Yeah. No, he has like that like do you remember when Bo Horvat used to like cut to the net and he kind of head down and would just chug his way there? McKinnon does that, but like 10 times better.
Yeah,
Like
10
it's
times
scary.
faster,
It's
10
scary
times
when
better
McKinnon does it.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
Uh,
I think for like the definition of power forward, like you're saying, I think it is JT this
yeah, for
season for
this
sure.
yeah, for this season, otherwise like he's probably top 5 in
Yep.
previous seasons. He's up there with the Kachuk boys and everything. The one other note I wanted to make about JT Miller is like everybody was talking about like how he's such a locker room like cancer and everything, and he made a joke. They interviewed him after the game yesterday, and he made
Yeah.
a joke about like they asked him about Brock scoring 40 goals, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, he's like, man, I've been telling Brock all year he can't score without me." And like he's really rubbing it in right now. It
Yeah.
just gave me a good chuckle. I was like, dude, this team is so sick. And even the fans like when JT Miller was getting interviewed, the whole crowd was chanting JT Miller, and then yesterday the whole all the fans were chanting Connor Garland, and like you could just tell it
Mhm.
means so much. Maybe not to Miller, but to Garland it meant a lot, and I just like the whole vibe around the team right now. Like
Yeah.
after yesterday's game, it seems like through all the hardships that they've been facing these last couple weeks, like the team's still like just having fun. They're out there and they're vibing. And JT Miller said it himself yesterday. He's like, job is not even close to done. He's like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool. Like we got all these milestones, and he's like, maybe I can enjoy the 100-point season in the summer. But he's like, right
Said he
now, I'm
was
not.
gonna have he was gonna have an extra beer tonight.
Extra beer. Yeah, that one gave me a good chuckle too.
Yeah, no, I that interview was great, man. It had so many little like snippets of his personality showing, and I agree, Probably. You know, like yeah, they've been struggling as of late or slumping a little bit. Like I said, like
Hmm.
5-5-1 without Demko, but you know, you just knew that this team was like, you know, they were still battling in these games outside of that Vegas and Kings game prior. Like they still have the fight in them. They're still that same team. They still are a contender, and when they play to their ability like this game is without Demko and Lindholm, who are coming back for next game most likely,
Yeah,
you know, or at least for the Saturday game versus the Oilers. Like this isn't the full team. We're getting two big pieces back. Like um also like, yeah, with all this praise, you were talking too about Garland, how they were chanting his name. Did you get to see that interview with Pedersen there?
yeah,
Man, that made me teary a little bit watching him like, get his name chanted and cheered on and she asked him like what does this mean mean to Garland, and then the fans just went berserk in the building, and you see him get choked up a little bit, and he's like, "That's it for me right there. Thanks, guys," and he left. And I was like, "Man, that was just."
So
I love all
rough,
these
right?
guys, man.
Yeah, this team has a good aura around them right now. It's nice.
They do. No, it's really great to see, and it's a perfect time too. Like like Miller even was saying too with the Garland shirts he made. It's like if it was like a 6 game losing streak they were on and they're going into this game, he's probably not making those shirts. You
Yeah,
know, like you read the room, right? Like you got to know what the vibes are going to be like, and yeah, no, this team, if they could play like this, they're like it's very feasible to see them go far in the playoffs, man.
yeah,
Very feasible.
100%. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, that being said, the only other two players that we didn't get to talk about in this game that I wanted to just mention was Elias Pettersson.
Hmm.
He was playing net front in this game. He was getting cross checked. He was hitting guys. He got an assist in this game, but I really liked his game. He played a heavy style. His two way defensive game in this game,
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Like he played a really solid game tonight.
he was net front on the first three Canucks goals.
Yeah,
He was right
and he
there.
does
He
a
was
great
planted.
job at it.
Yeah. For a slim guy, like for a slimmer guy compared to everybody else in this show, yeah, he
Yeah.
takes away the goalie's eyes quite nicely.
Yeah, and like obviously he has good hands too to like tip it in too if it gets to that point. But it's just something about the Swedes, man. Like even when we had Henrik and Daniel Sedin on this team, and like you know people that weren't covering this team would call the Sedin soft, and like I feel like Swedes get that rap sometimes.
Mhm.
Dude, Henrik and Daniel on the boards, Pedersen on the board, like Pedersen reverse hits. These guys, Matt Sundin, like these guys are big Swedes, dude. They they're not that they're power forwards, but like they're strong. Like no, these guys aren't soft. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Pedersen's a big kid and he can play. He crunched a Golden Knight on the boards actually in the first in that game last night, and I was like, man, like this guy can hit. Like
It always
I just
boggles my
loved it.
mind when he throws a hit.
Oh, I know.
It's just like if we've seen it so much, I'm still not used to it. I'm like, wow.
Well, lately because he hasn't been scoring as much,
Mhm.
like I've just been noticing him like hitting a lot more and just like doing the little things because he's just not scoring like he was at the start of the year. But
Yeah.
he's still doing all of the other things that make him a complete player. Like the 200-foot game is still amazing on Pedersen. And if we're talking about 200-foot game, we're talking about an absolute speedster, a menace. If Ilya Mikheyev
Oh,
can put in a game like he did against the Knights here, I'm down with him playing like that. You don't got to score, but push the pace for me a little bit. I loved that.
yeah.
Great game by Mikheyev.
No, Ilya Mikheyev. I told you before you like watched the full game. I was like,
I
dude,
know.
Mikheyev had a game, and I agree, man. Like as long as he can keep doing that consistently, he did. The points obviously haven't been there and might not be there this season, but dude, just have that dog in you and just hound and
Exactly.
hound and hound. And I think the fan base is going to be more than okay with that.
No, he was reading the play really well and like intercepting passes. Like he was dogging on William Karlsson. He like stick lifted it, got it to the corner. William Karlsson chased him down, but like that was at close to the end of the game too. Like he was playing like big minutes, like with the Golden Knights netminder pulled. So like
Yeah.
props to McKay. That was a great game. I want to see more of that. Like yeah, let's go, let's go. I want to see this Canucks team for the last bit of the regular season here. You know what I mean? I don't want to see any stinkers. I don't care if you lose, but just give me a complete effort every night.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We're
All right.
we're 48
It's,
minutes in here, so
it's,
we could probably wrap it up, brother.
it's late. I say we take a quick look at like what's going on in the like
Yep.
this week, like what's coming up. So we played the Coyotes. My question, I had a big question for you. Who do you
Yeah.
start? The Smith
Okay. Well,
or Sealops?
you know what? I'm gonna contradict myself here. I think because I think you got to reward Sealoves. I think he played a great game, and I
Hmm.
think you got to go Sealoves in this game.
I think they're going to start the Smith, but
They
I hope
probably
it's
will.
Sealops. Yeah.
I just think like you give the kid a little reward. Like he also has to go back down to Abbotsford to play, uh, for the Abbotsford playoffs for the Calder Cup.
Yeah.
So why not just get him one more game? I don't know. That's the thing I have a tough time with because it's like kind of disrespectful to DeSmith, but the kid's earned it. He had a great win against a really good hockey club, the defending Stanley Cup champions. He
I
beat
mean,
them.
I don't think DeSmith is gonna care all that much, bro. He's been playing so much hockey since Demko went down like a month ago.
No, for sure. And dude, DeSmith is a great backup. He's always a good interview, and he's happy to be there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he wouldn't take this like in any wrong way at all. Like so,
No.
I obviously he's going to support Sea Loves, and it's good for the club to see what they got, like you said. But yeah, I would give it to Sea Loves personally.
Do you have a score prediction for the game tomorrow?
Yeah, 2-1 because both Arizona games versus Vancouver have been 2-1 wins for us. So I'm going to expect another snooze fest.
I'm gonna say 5-1
I
Vancouver.
would I would love to see our offense explode like that. It's been a hot minute, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 5-1 Vancouver. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. 5-1 Vancouver. Goals by not Garland. Goals by Miller and Hughes.
That's it. Hattie there and 2 goals on one.
Oh no, no, no. I'm only picking those two.
Oh, you're just picking. Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
why you wouldn't pick Garland. Garland's going right now. I think Garland scores. Um, I would like to see Pius Suter get his goal there. He hasn't been like he's been
Hmm.
doing the defensive stuff, but he's been struggling a little bit outside of that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a Garland goal, and because Hughes has been on an absolute heater, I gotta put my boy Hughes in there too.
I'm gonna switch mine. I like your picks. I'm gonna go. Tomorrow's gonna be bump the slump night, so I'm gonna go minus Hughes. So I'm gonna pick Hughes to score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Pius Suter to score.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pick Ilya Mikheyev. I'm gonna pick Vasily Podkolzin.
Oh man, I would. Pod Colson too has been playing
He needs one.
such a grindy kind of game. I'm loving the way he's playing. So I hope he gets rewarded soon. And come playoff time, I really hope management sees Pods and like asks like wants him. I hope management lets him play in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
don't know if they'll send him down prior, but I think he's one of the best fourth liner guys that we can deploy right now. So
he's got the skill and he's got the speed and he's got
yeah,
the checking. It's just at the end of the day, man. Like if you're playing with Lafferty and Amon, like it's gonna be tough to put a puck in the back
I
of the net.
but I like and I
I
yeah I don't.
I like what that line brings for the
Mhm,
bang in and the like crash the net like persona that they have. But like
yeah,
Pods is a skilled guy, and his 1T is pretty wicked. You're not going to
yeah.
be fed many 1Ts with those guys on the ice, but
No,
I do think that line has the potential, and like they're built to just grind teams down and get like a greasy goal. So I'm
I
hoping
would
Pods
just
can.
like I would just like I don't know. This is no shade to Amon. I think Niels Amon has been a fourth line player this year.
Mhm.
Like I don't expect too much from Amon either. It's just more so like I like that line of Pods and Lafferty because they're both fast players. They both get in on the forecheck. Like it's like Rafi Torres light kind of
Yeah,
esque line, right? Like I feel like they need one more like crashing banging kind of guy, and I just don't think Niels Amon is that guy there.
no,
But you need a centerman, and he's the only guy it seems like they can put there.
yeah. Well, when Lindholm comes back, I expect him on to be the guy who gets taken out.
Yeah. Oh, that
So,
that is true. Yeah. Um. Now, yeah, this is some news around the league here that we can talk about. So, Capitals won today, right?
oh, yep,
Ovechkin gets his 30th goal of the season. He's the only player, probably, in the NHL to have 30 goals in 18 seasons.
yeah.
That's
It's
insane.
absurd. That is absurd.
I thought he was washed, honestly, at the start of the year. I'm sure like a lot of people did. The second half of the season, Ovechkin has turned it on, man. He is gunning for that Gretzky record.
Oh, I remember. Sorry, I'm so tired, but I remember back in November. I think it was November. It was, yeah, November. Gunny was saying, "Do you want to call off the bet between me and him on
Mhm.
if he would break Gretzky's record?" And I said no. He said, "At this rate, it's looking like he's not gonna." How many goals away is he now? Like 40?
I don't know exactly, to be honest. I'd have to look that up for you. But yeah, he does that. While you look that up, I'm just going to mention a couple of the stats here. Austin Matthews currently is at 66 goals, dude. Like what? As much as I don't like the Leafs, that play, Austin Matthews, all the respect in the world, 66 goals in a season is absurd.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd.
It
Total props to him. And yeah, the other question I had for you is the Art Ross race here, winding down. So many players have 100 points now. It's wild.
hold on.
9 players have 100 points, but
Hold on.
Kucherov,
Hold on. Hold on.
yeah,
I'm gonna just quickly say the OV thing and then we'll go to that.
yeah, of course, yeah,
Did you know he's second all time in goals?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. He,
I
he passed Gordie Howe like
that's
last season, I think.
that is ridiculous. Okay, so Gretzky 894 goals in 1,487 games.
Yep.
Ovi is 1,422 games, 852 goals. So he
Wow.
is, what is that, 43 goals away from breaking Gretzky's record.
One, 2 more seasons.
I'm going to say he goes crazy next season and he does it.
He's not. You think he's potting 43?
Well, I think he could score 3 more this season. He just has to pot 40.
Oh yeah, he just has to pot 40, dude. It's gonna be 2 seasons. Mark my words. But
Dude,
yeah,
he's scored 30 goals in 18 straight seasons.
yeah, dude. You're saying he has to get 40 next year when he got 30 this year. He is declining a little bit. You can't deny that.
Doesn't Crosby have, how many goals does Crosby have this year?
I don't know, dude. I'm not. This isn't what the Penguin. um. Okay, let me ask you this Art Ross question though. So we have Nikita Kucherov at 139 points, Nathan McKinnon at 137 points, and Connor McDavid at 130. Connor McDavid is also currently day to day as it stands, so we don't know how many more games he's going to be playing. Safe to say it's going to be between Kucherov and McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think wins the Art Ross there? And who do you think wins the Hart out of those two? Because there's a lot of beef with Colorado and Tampa Bay fans right now, and who should deserve the Hart?
Um, for answer that, I just want to say Sidney Crosby has 40 goals this year. Kucherov wins Ross, and then McKinnon wins Hart. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what McKinnon's doing is just crazy. I think his play style is something that's you won't find across the rest of the league. Kucherov is just absurd. Like that guy, he's been so good for so long, and
Yeah.
I, I just don't. I feel like, man, Kucherov just plays such a like loose style of game.
Two different players.
Yeah, like
I love
McKinnon's.
both. I love watching both.
Yeah, McKinnon's ruggedy, like in your face. Like if I can't go like around you, I'm gonna go through you.
Yeah.
Kucherov is like, I'm definitely just gonna go around you. Like there's no questions asked of it. So I think Kucherov takes Art Ross. I think McKinnon takes the Hart.
hmm I think what Kucherov's been able to do with the Tampa Bay Lightning this year is pretty incredible, and I think he is a strong candidate to win the Hart. That being said, this is McKinnon's year to win it for
Okay.
sure.
hmm
Um, like I don't know if fans know this of the What the Nuck podcast, but we, Prabby and I, went to go see Pedersen's rookie year. We got to see his
hmm
very first 5 point night. Brock Besser had a 4 point night. You could see the difference in skill on everybody compared to McKinnon. McKinnon was a step above everybody. He got a breakaway in the first 2 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
head down, skated past everybody like in 2 seconds. It was just insane. Like
Yeah.
that's probably the best hockey player I've seen outside of Quinn Hughes live.
Yeah. Facts. I do want to say the reason I'm picking McKinnon to take home the Hart is because Kucherov doesn't have to pull dead weight named Kale McCarr across the ice. So
Oh
that's why
God.
that's why we're taking the old Nathan McKinnon. Have you seen
Yeah.
Nathan McKinnon's or Kale McCarr's stats with Nathan McKinnon and without?
Yes, I have.
That's
That's why Hughes should win the
disgusting.
Norris.
Oh, that's a whole other conversation I don't even want to have.
No, we
I don't want to have that conversation. If
yeah,
it
we
if we
won't.
have that conversation, that means I know we got screwed.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, I have one more thing for you here now.
Okay.
So yeah, as we said, so Vancouver today now plays the Arizona Coyotes. Obviously, hopefully Vancouver wins that. They most likely should. Saturday, the big showdown, a 4-point swing. They have the Edmonton Oilers, who are still really close with 2 games in hand. Vancouver currently has 104 points to Edmonton's 99 points. Do you think the Edmonton Oilers can catch us? Do you think they will?
I think to really like understand how close it is, Edmonton plays 2 more games this week. Tomorrow's basically a must win for Vancouver. Like
Yep.
the Vancouver can't lose this game if they want first in the division, because if Vancouver loses and Edmonton racks off their 2 games that they have in hand, or not 2 games, but if they win tomorrow and then they win on Friday, all of a sudden that game on Saturday turns into battle for first.
Yep.
Right? So, I'm still not too worried about it. I think Edmonton's schedule is definitely going to catch up with them, and the
6
fact they
games
don't,
and 9 nights.
yeah, and they don't have Connor McDavid now. So,
Mhm.
good luck. Your team usually folds when that happens. So,
I love
it's
you,
just,
buddy.
and yeah, like we should be getting Demko back and Lindholm back. Like, I think Saturday is going to be a great game, and I honestly expect there to be some fireworks because I don't think the Oilers have forgotten about the absolute beatdown the Canucks put on them.
I think both teams absolutely hate each other. Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah,
last game we played against them. I brought this up so many times in this podcast. People probably hate when I bring it up. Still, my favorite moment in this season is Miller hitting McDavid in the chest, just super clean. McDavid looks up, is like, "You can't do that." They start tackling him, and it's just mayhem. That game on Saturday, mark it on your calendar, Canucks fans. It's going to be so good,
electric. It's going to be
electric.
crazy.
Put
You
your
get to
Nux
see
jerseys on and go to town.
what Miller versus Draisaitl, Hughes versus Bouchard, Demko potentially against Pickard, Skin- Skinner.
Probably Skinner, Super Stew. I don't know, one of the two.
Did they play the Yotes on the Friday? I think.
Yeah, I don't know. They got it back, so they'll be on the back second half of a back to back against us. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. But yeah, no, if Vancouver can win this game against Arizona, and then this Edmonton game, they've pretty much locked up first. And I I think Vancouver's going to stay in first, and hopefully they win the division, and hopefully we don't get the LA Kings. That's all we can hope for.
They've clinched home ice in the first round.
First
Oh my
round, yeah.
god.
Yeah, okay,
We
we
gotta
got to
wrap
wrap
this
this up
up.
here. Bobby's got to go to bed here.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Thank you guys again so much for listening. You guys can follow our Instagram handle and X or Twitter at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok is at What the Nuck. Thanks again so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys again soon.